The Fourth Amendment protects you from being searched, protects you from being arrested, protects your property from being confiscated. The Fourth Amendment is a protection against overeager police. Now, police are necessary in society. Police protect us. If we didn't have police, people would bust into your house and steal your stuff. People would mess with you all the time. So police are important. Police are necessary. We have to have them. But we also have to make sure that the occasional bad cop, the occasional overeager cop, does not take things too far. So we need to find a way to put limits on the power of the police, and the Fourth Amendment does that. Search warrants, you see them in movies all the time. Let's get a search warrant and go search this place. It's not as easy as it seems in the movies. The police have to work hard to get search warrants. Why do we make it difficult for police to get search warrants? Because we need to make sure that they aren't just bounding into everyone's house looking for things. So let's see how the Fourth Amendment protects you. The Fourth Amendment was part of the original set of 10 amendments called the Bill of Rights. That was the first upgrade to the Constitution. And as always, when we look at this kind of thing, it's long sentences, old-fashioned language, and big words. So we got to take it apart step by step. Looks kind of scary, but let's see if we can figure it out. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. What does that mean? All right, so big, long sentence, but simple idea, actually. The Fourth Amendment tells you that the police can't search your home unless you give them permission or a judge issues a search warrant. And it's not easy to get a search warrant. The Fourth Amendment makes it very difficult to get a search warrant, despite what you may see on TV shows. How does this protect you? Well, it means the police can't simply barge in to your house and start looking around. They have to slow down, have to stop, they have to go talk to a judge, they have to convince a judge that there is evidence, probable cause, that there's a reason. Their search is going to be limited to whatever is written in the search warrant. All right, so this is to protect ordinary citizens from police who may be a little bit too eager to do their jobs. Well, what is the logic behind the Fourth Amendment? Why is it that we have this safety? There's two parts to it. There's a reasonable expectation of privacy. All right, the government can't mess with my stuff. The government can't get all up in my business. The government has to respect my privacy. The second part of the logic is property rights. The government cannot search my house or my property. It's because I own it. They can search a public place like a park or a post office or a school, but my property is under a special category protected by the Fourth Amendment. What's the historical context? Well, back in the 1700s, the King of England, the English Parliament, they were sending their officials over here to the New World, to America, to bust into people's houses and look for evidence that we might not be loyal to them, that we might be planning a revolution, a rebellion, a revolt. And, well, we were, right? Because they were not treating us badly. So, when we had our revolution, we said, hey, we're going to put a stop to this business of people busting into houses looking for evidence. That was then. This is now, 200, 300 years later. What's the deal? Here's the deal. Now, we know that most policemen are honest, decent people, but we know there are the occasional bad cops who will try to get away with something, will try to do something they're not supposed to do. And so the Fourth Amendment is a roadblock. It's going to stop the bad cops, right? They have to stop. They can't just bust into your house. They have to either get your permission or they have to go through a long process with the judge to get a search warrant. And we see this is effective now because cops who do bad stuff occasionally, right, all of a sudden they get in trouble. All of a sudden they're in court. They're on trial. So we see that we have a way to keep the police force within limits. Again, most Americans, right, are happy with the local police because we know that most policemen are decent people, honest people who just want to help. But there is that occasional bad cop, and the way of stopping that occasional bad cop is the Fourth Amendment.